Alright, today I'm out chasing some brown trout. Normally I would like to do this the end of October or early November, but I was just super busy, didn't have time, so it's late November, and air temps are like 28 this morning, and there's actually a little bit of chunk ice out here on the lake. This is a new to me lake because I'm in a new area and I want to scout it out before ice season. And everything's frozen. It took me like 5 minutes to chip the hatch ice away from the hatch so I could put the battery in. And my rudder system is frozen, so I can barely steer the kayak effectively. But it does feel nice out here. It's calm, feels warm. Hopefully things will start to thaw out here and I'll start to get some control of my kayak. It's kind of silly. I'm going to troll a spoon. Gold spoon, Tsurinoya, 5 gram, tipped with a little bit of Berkeley Galt maggot on this rod. Experience is, in late October, early November, these fish are generally pretty shallow, like tight to the bank, but I think they'll be past that phase and moving back out to slightly deeper water. So I'm going to start in 10, 15 foot. We'll see if I see any activity or get any marks. Browns are super predatory fish. They love to eat other fish. So I'm got that spoon, and then I'm a little crawdad pattern crankbait here. Also gonna try. I'll move along at a pretty good clip. Water temperatures are 42. Still a ways before we're gonna get much of an ice cap. There isn't a whole lot of structure to this lake. It's just kind of a round bowl. There are some developed parts of the shoreline, and then there's some like cattail. I assume where the cattails are, there's probably gonna be a little more life. Spoon's wobbling good. Crankbait not so much. I'm gonna try a little flicker shad and fire tiger. Fire tiger is a good color for browns. Okay, let's do that. Now we got both rods fishing. At least the rudder's starting to melt. That's a good sign. Got about 2.2 right now. I'll try and vary it from like 1.7, 1.8 up to 2.2. Oop, there's fish on the turn. Oh, that feels nice. That's on the flicker shad. You gotta zig and zag even when trolling for trout. It really does trigger that strike. Browns tend to bulldog a little bit more, but we'll see what we got here. There's some other warm water species in here this could be. Woo! Good head shakes. Come on. Big buttery brown would make my day. Especially for a first fish of the day. Gosh, he's putting a bend in his rod. Come on. What do I got here? Can't see it because of the sun. Yeah, that's looking pretty browny. Looking golden brown. Not a bad fish. Got him. Yeah. That's what I'm here for. That's a decent fish too. Probably 16, 17. Take that. I know there's bigger in here, but still. That's awesome. Alright, so before I handle this fish, I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to take off my wool gloves so I don't take slime away from him. And I'll wet my hands on the nitrile gloves, and that'll let me handle him for photos but not take slime off of him. Also, it keeps my gloves dry. And even though wool gloves work when wet, I'd rather keep them dry. Here we go, it's a nice brown. Check that out. Beautiful. I think this is a hen. So awesome. I love these fish. All right, let's get her going. See you later. All right, score one for the fire tiger. Oh boy, as soon as those hands get wet, they get cold. Well, that's only about 5-10 minutes into the day. Let's get going again. Let's stick with the 55 feet back with the flicker shad. If we pick up another one on the flicker shad, I might go double on the crankbaits. Sometimes they just want cranks, and sometimes they'll hit metal. That was at about 2.2, so they're still willing to smash it at a pretty good troll speed. Kind of figured they'd be over here on this side with all the cattails and stuff. I noticed when I was out in front of the houses and stuff, the bottom is just, there is a weedy base, and then it drops off like at 10 feet, just becomes like a hard pan bottom or mud. Whereas over here, even at 17 feet deep, we've got I can see some vegetation down there. It comes up for about 2 feet. That's usually where the critters are going to be living. And where there's critters, there's smaller fish. So there's plenty of food for these browns. Yeah, got a little bit of weeds on the front. Ooh, there's one on the spoon. On the surface. Nice. Ooh. Good head shaking. Kind of makes sense. We were going over the top of those taller weeds, and this is going right over the top of those. They're going to come up and ambush stuff swimming over the top. Doesn't feel as heavy as that last one. You never know. They'll swim at you in this cold water. They might be a little bit lethargic. Not a bad sized fish. Oh, he's off right there. Dang it. It was about a 15-inch brown. When I came up here, I haven't fished this lake, and half the lake's kind of developed, half just got this cattails and reeds. But one thing I noticed right away was like all the waterfowl were over here. And so I was like, that must be the productive areas. A lot of times I'll use waterfowl as a good indication of like where there's productive feeding areas, because I find that the trout and the waterfowl, especially like the dabblers and such, tend to occupy really similar parts of a lake. Your scop and divers and stuff, they're going down and getting mussels out in that more hard pan areas. But if I see things like gadwalls and mallards and widgeons, even geese feeding, then those are the areas where I tend to find species like rainbow and brown trout. Nature provides a lot of clues like that, and people don't listen to it. They don't pay attention. That's why I like knowing all the birds and everything, and what their diet is, their behavior. Insects too. I mean, it's important to know all that stuff. If you're a good naturalist, you're going to be a great fisherman. Oh, that again, instant. This one's clearly heavier. Oh yeah, he's taking drag. Woo-hoo. Whoa, this thing's heavy. Spoon bite now. Oh my gosh, nice fish. Oh. Yeah, it's about the same size as that last one. Awesome. This one's really pretty. It's a book. Very red. Very much red. Red spotting. That's pretty. That is really pretty. Hey, look. See that big kype on the buck there? Look at that red spotting. Isn't that pretty? Wow, that is stunning. What a pretty fish. Look at the red spotting on that guy. He's awesome looking. Cool dude. Love it. Let's get that big boy going. See ya, man. All right. What an awesome day already. All right, so that's one lost, and then one nice hen, and then one nice buck. That's what's cool about browns. Like, some browns will have like black spotting, some will have more blue. And then others will have that red. Just really never know. They're like so unique, each individual. Their fins are a little bit beat up. That's kind of normal. I see that a lot when coming off of the fall spawn. Even though they can't really effectively spawn here, they still go up on shore and dig around in a bunch of dirt and gravel and tear up their fins a bit. Like a lot of other species, when you're trolling for them, brown trout are the same, like with trout, with kokanee. You need to turn every once in a while because they will follow. And if you turn, you know, this rod's going to accelerate. This rod will slow down, and also kind of depending on the lure, like this, with this lure here, if it accelerates, it's going to dive harder on the outside turn, and then it'll slow down and kind of come up on the inside turn. And this is going to drop on the inside turn, and then it's going to come up shallow on the outside turn. So if they're following it, a lot of times that can trigger a strike. There we go, just like that. Did you see that? That's great. It's a bass, largemouth bass. Well, even bass respond to turns like that. It's crazy. Hey, buddy. Good old frozen ditch pickle. Nice thing about bass, a lot of people don't like them, but gotta admire a fish that you can take out of water for more than 5 seconds and that doesn't want to die. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Little Archie, little pickle, ditch pickle. See you later, bud. Oop, that was a bite. See that? If you slow down, see if you'll take it. Speed up. There we go. Yeah! That worked. Ooh, yeah. That was awesome. Oh, that's a heavy fish. That was great. You can do that when you get that little tap like that. Start varying up your speed. Get them to smack. It's one of the things I love about being in a kayak is you can respond like that, just without having to touch a motor or anything. Just speed up, slow down. Can't see him yet. Straight underneath me. Yep. It's a really pretty brown. Completely different than the ones we saw earlier. Not very big, but very black spotting. I mean, just completely different than the ones I caught. The two I caught this morning. Well, there you go. See how this one looks completely different. Much darker, dark spotting. None of the red, none of the blues or buttery goldens like the other ones. Just really light yellow with dark spotting. We'll do a no hands release on this one. See ya. Since I've caught 2 or 3 now on the spoon tipped with maggots, I'll stop because in the state of Washington, every fish caught on bait counts towards your limit. There's limit 5, so just go naked spoon and see how naked spoon does versus tipped spoon. Whew, it does not take much wind when the air temps are in the upper 20s, low 30s to be cold. Oop, there you go. Nice. Oh, he's taking some drag. Got me in some weeds now. Get out of those weeds. It's a nice sized fish, actually. Yeah, that's a great sized fish. Okay, nice. That's as big as that. It's another nice big buck. Not as red as that one this morning, but still really pretty. Really pretty buck. Look at that color. That's so cool looking. You see the tail's a little ratted from spawning. Not too bad. Alright, another nice buck. Look at that. Really pretty. Look at that red on the top of the adipose fin. That's a monster adipose fin. Let's get him going. Yeah. Oop, there we go. Got one on me. Is it still there? No, I think he spit it. I'd hit the Thomas Point spoon. Oop, there we go. Got one. It's on the Thomas Point. Is decent. That's like the hot spoon now. As soon as I put it on, I got a couple bites on it. Chartreuse and like brown and black. Oh yeah, it's a nice fish. Really nice fish. There's another hen. Got it. Nice. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Sometimes you just have to sort through the lures till you find what works. Come here. Alright, nice beautiful hen there. Awesome. Let's get her back in the water. Alright, I'll put links to all the lures I used below. The best lures today was the gold Tsurinoya spoon, followed by flicker shad, got a fair number of bites, and then this Thomas Point that I've been using just got 2 bites at the end of the day, and everything else was pretty much just got blinked. But yeah, definitely for these late fall browns, you know, look for them early in the morning, you know, shallow over weed beds. It seems like they moved out over deeper water as that sun came up. And they were really responding to those metallics, but it seemed like areas where waterfowl were feeding, where there's, you know, a lot of bug life and rich insect life, that's where I was finding those fish. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Just remember, fish smarter, not harder. Bye.